Hello everyone, I'm glad you're watching this video. Today, we'll talk about a very interesting topic, how to surprise a man in bed. 5 ways to do this and literally amaze him so that when he wakes up in the morning, he says, "Oh my God, I'm going to the store for the biggest and cleanest diamond in the world." This topic emerged after I stumbled upon various sources on the internet. For some reason, they are popular and many of you draw information from there. Various experts give you recommendations supposedly helping you drive a man crazy and become his super lover. Today, we will definitely discuss this. Watch the video until the end, because if you're trying to surprise your man in this way, I believe either he will run away from you soon or you from him, or you'll chafe yourself raw or completely exhaust yourself. Almost said something inappropriate here, so be careful. Today we will discuss your 5 favorite methods that girls find on the internet. Watch this video till the end and I'll tell you about the scariest myth. If you follow these recommendations, the man will definitely run away from you. He will never stay with you at all. No matter how hard you try, even if you do the splits, nothing will help. So, the first recommendation given on this site for girls is to bring his boldest dream to life. Now, if you approach your man and ask, "What is your boldest fantasy you'd like to realize with me in sex?" I assure you, 90% of men will think it would be nice if there was some passionate, cool girl next to you in bed. Some men won't admit this and will say, "Oh what, you're enough for me, why add more? That's nonsense." As for realizing cherished fantasies, yes, a man may have his own secrets. It might not be easy for him to confess them to a woman. It could be anything. For example, a man might get turned on by the idea of public sex, or sex in extreme conditions, be it skydiving or diving underwater with aqualung. Girls, I'd like to ask you, first, find out from your man about his most cherished sexual fantasies, and if you already know about them, please write in the comments what he might have asked for or what you guessed and decided to fulfill. One girl wrote to me that she made a gift for her man. She hired him a stripper with a continuation. Imagine, he comes home from work and there's a lady meeting him, dancing a striptease for him. She takes him by the hand, leads him into the room, starts dancing, undressing, then accompanies him in the shower, washing him. Afterward, his wife sort of tucks him back into bed, all satisfied. Share your story under this video. Maybe you had other fantasies. It's especially interesting to find out what scenarios you chose for yourselves and how successful they were. So, when we talk about fantasies, they should not go against your inner state. If you think that you're making some mega super cool actions in your sexual life to strengthen the relationship, you're mistaken. Some girls, striving to preserve relationships, agree to threesomes, foursomes, or even fivesomes. There are those who agree to realize a man's fantasy that entirely contradicts their inner state. Sooner or later, for you, sexual relations can become something very unpleasant, violating your personal boundaries and causing repulsion. Remember, once and for all, joint realization of fantasies is possible only with trust, acceptance, love, and care in the relationship. If chaos reigns in the relationship and you're trying to save it through diversity and realization of male sexual fantasies, you won't succeed. By the way, soon an interesting video on 7 signs of a healthy relationship will come out on my channel. Don't miss it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and enable notifications to learn about new videos. You'll understand how mature and happy your relationships are, and if not, how to lead them to that state. The second piece of advice I noticed on this site: be loud. This expert believes that if a woman screams so loud that neighbors knock on the pipes, then the man will be delighted. Have you ever thought about the fact that sound might be linked to sensations in some unified ring? However, this comparison might sound rude, but imagine it's like a tube connecting the woman's uterus and throat. And indeed, considering the bodily metaphor and the basics of body-oriented therapy, often loud sounds can compensate for missing sensations in women. For instance, with anorgasmia, a woman might use sound production as a method to cope with internal experiences. This doesn't always heighten the man's arousal. Perhaps it impresses someone dealing with internal traumas himself. He might feel like a hero when a woman makes loud sounds, creating an illusion of passion. However, this doesn't improve the quality of sexual relationships. Avoid extremes, portraying a silent turtle or screaming so much that neighbors complain. The volume during sexual intimacy doesn't define the level of passion and can cause discomfort. Interestingly, many men, by the way, are less vocal during sex. If a man is silent, he might just puff or whistle, finishing without words, while a woman wants to hear his reaction. It seems such recommendations are more suitable for men. They should work on their sound production, learning to express emotions with sounds in the bedroom, instead of using them only during conflicts. So, men, try not just to show external signs of activity, but also share emotions with your partner. Recently, in a live stream, I shared an interesting story about a married couple who sought my help. They faced a problem. The woman developed psychogenic frigidity and didn't want to have sex with her husband. The reason turned out to be quite unusual. During intimacy, the husband started making sounds reminiscent of a seagull's cry at the port. He did it so loudly that neighbors asked to shut up. Since residents on the same staircase knew each other well, the woman felt highly embarrassed. Every time entering the elevator with neighbors, she sensed they were judging her, although it wasn't about her at all. She couldn't publicly justify herself. That wasn't me, that was my husband shouting. Hence, she felt shame and discomfort. Nevertheless, together we figured out why it happened and what events led to such behavior. This story exemplifies the importance of being attentive and sensitive to each other. Perhaps one of your partners also makes strange sounds during sex or behaves unusually. For example, one woman told me that her man during orgasm shouted, "Mommy, mommy!" If you also have similar stories or partner behaviors, share in the comments. It would be interesting to know if you've encountered this in present or past relationships. Another case from my practice, a girl came to me talking about a guy who couldn't orgasm unless he held a container of milk, be it a bag, bottle or glass, as long as it was regular cow's milk. The milk had to be either in his hand or within sight, and he had to somehow touch it. An unusual ritual indeed. Additionally, let's pay attention to an essential suggestion. Buy something new. I want to share a story illustrating this. A woman, together with her man, decided to purchase a dildo. The man confessed he was excited by the idea of a third male in bed and suggested using a dildo for experimentation. The woman agreed, and they picked a suitable option in the store together. However, what happened next became a real surprise. The dildo was so enormous that the man compared it to a garden digging shovel. Seeing this device next to his member, his arousal vanished immediately. The situation was so traumatizing for him that several months of therapy and sexologist consultations were needed to handle it. These stories highlight the importance of considering subtle aspects of our preferences and reactions, and how psychology and personal inclinations can influence intimate life. And remember, before heading to buy items from an adult store, it might be wise to explore your psychological barriers and needs through professional help or training programs. When deciding to diversify your sexual life using various toys or accessories like dildos, straps, ties, or pumps, it's crucial for this to happen by mutual consent with your partner. The choice should be joint, avoiding surprises, as seen in the previous examples. The maturity of partners plays a key role in ensuring that innovations in intimate life bring pleasure and not trauma. The above case, where a man was shocked by the size of the purchased dildo, serves as a good lesson. He approached a specialist with questions about his adequacy, feeling like his wife was dissatisfied with him for years. It's a deep belief that could harm their relationship. Avoid introducing something new if you're not ready, just for the sake of experimenting. For example, a woman bought a nurse's costume at her husband's request. At that moment, they had a great time, but afterward, she became highly anxious. Worries clouded her thoughts that her husband was exclusively attracted to women in uniform, and every time passing by a hospital or ambulance, she'd recall this. These stories underscore the importance of communication and considering each other's feelings. Find out if your partner is truly ready for experiments and make sure this desire is mutual. Any fantasies and innovations should be based on trust and openness in the relationship, avoiding misunderstandings and tense situations. In relationships, it's really important to listen not only to your partner, but also to yourself. If you don't feel ready for a particular experiment, it's better to avoid it. The idea of recording a video with interesting stories about experiments in sexual life sounds fantastic. Humor can be a great way to relieve tension and view such topics easily. So if this incites positive responses, it'll be interesting to hear your tales. Shifting to the topic of compliments. It's crucial to remember that they can be both beneficial and harmful depending on context. Praising actions and deeds is a more effective strategy than just appearances or certain qualities. Be sincere and natural, avoiding the impression of playing a part. During intimacy, compliments should also be genuine. If you truly wish to compliment your partner, do so. But strive to avoid artificially building atmosphere with phrases like, "Oh God, you're so amazing," if it doesn't come from the heart. It's far more critical to focus on true interaction and pleasure, rather than worrying about what to say. Women usually need to overcome various mental barriers to fully immerse themselves in the moment of intimacy. Thus, focusing on authenticity and personal comfort is key to a richer and more joyful experience. Focusing on personal sensations, emotions, and feelings during intimacy can genuinely make interactions deeper and more authentic. Natural compliments might occur spontaneously when we are wholly immersed in the moment. Concerning the use of different formulations or spicy phrases, everything is individual. Some couples enjoy incorporating such elements into their intimacy, serving as a kind of game exploring limits and desires, yet it's vital to keep in mind such expressions must be mutually consensual. All parties should feel comfortable and confident to openly articulate their desires. If you or your partner choose to use specific words or phrases, frank dialogue can help avert misunderstandings. Discuss how such words are perceived by each of you, always gravitating towards mutual respect and understanding. Your channel, open to discussions on such topics, could serve as an excellent platform for exchanging views and experiences where everyone can speak out and receive advice without judgment. I eagerly await discovering what the biggest mistake in sex identified by you online is. Curious to learn what exactly this refers to. The articles also raised an intriguing, arguably humorous question: humor during sex. While humor can be a fantastic tool for reducing tension and creating a more relaxed atmosphere in a relationship, as you rightly noted, not always appropriate at the peak of an intimate moment. Imagining such a scenario where one partner tries telling a joke mid-intercourse undeniably might bring a smile. However, it's important to remember that for some couples, this might be perfectly normal practice as part of their dynamic, provided it feels natural and both are comfortable. However, there might be another situation where before engaging in intimacy, partners are in a state of joyfulness and levity after having watched a comedy together or simply enjoying a pleasant evening. That positive demeanor indeed helps relax and attune together, thus enhancing sexual satisfaction. Beyond jokes, crafting a whimsical backdrop with humor before or after intimacy. Remarkable idea, assuming it's natural for both participants. Each couple possesses unique attributes, and such an approach may precisely fit someone perfectly. Your discussions on such topics offer a splendid opportunity for people to exchange personal stories and discover commonalities among diverse relationship experiences. Remind your partner about the importance of open communication and appreciating each other's boundaries. Thank you for sharing such stories. Until next time.